Okay, so Om Gyan Timidandasya Gina Jana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shiyuta Padakamalam Shigurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganad Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyati Desatarine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimakti Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Sri Varshabhanabi Devi Daite Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vigyanam Daine Pravade Namaha Madhura Ujjvala Premadhya Sri Rupanuga Bhakti Da Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virurapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Saksat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vibhava Bhumes Tvam Nirdisesha Sajanapriyam Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Triste Namaha Panchatattva Makam Prishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avatar Bhakta Kyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Dayatam Sudatal Pangur Mama Banda Matir Gati Matsarvasya Padambo Jo Radha Madna Mohano Divya Rinda Kalpa Drumad Avad Sri Sri Ratna Singar Satam Sri Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prastali Bi Sevyamanam Smarami Srimad Rasavadasadam Bi Vamsi Vata Tatasti Tahar Karsan Venu Tadai Gopir Gopinatha Dain Stunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Evan Vidam Tvam Sakalatmanam Api Swadmanam Atma Mataya Vichaksate Gurarka Labdo Panisatsu Chaksusa Yete Tarantiva Bhavatam Bhavatritam Buddhim Evam Vidam Tvam Sakalatmanam Api Swatmanam atma mataya vichaksate. Gurvarka labdhyo panisat suchaksusa. Yete tarantiva bavarim tambudim. Chat. Swatmanam atmataya vichaksate. Kuvarta labdyo panisa suchaksusa. Yete tanyativa bhavitam ritam buddhim. Ladies? Evan Vidam, as thus described, Tvam, you, Sakala, of all, Atmanam, souls, Api, indeed, Swat Atmanam, the very soul, Atma Atmataya, as the super soul, Vijaksate, they see, Guru, from the spiritual master, Arka, who is like the sun, Labda, received, Upanisat, of confidential knowledge, Suchakshusa, by the perfect eye, yea, who, te, they, taranti, cross over, iva, easily, bhava, of material existence, amritam, amrita, which is not real, ambuddhim, the ocean. Well, this whole chapter is Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. Continuation. Those who have received the clear vision of knowledge from the sun-like spiritual master can see you in this way, as the very soul of all souls, the super soul of everyone's own self, thus understanding your original personality, they are able to cross over the ocean of illusory material existence. Please repeat. Those who have received a clear vision of knowledge from the sunlight spiritual master can see you in this way as the very soul of all souls, the super soul of everyone's own self. Thus, understanding your original personality, they are able to cross over the ocean of illusory material existence. Very short purport, and actually it's just a verse from the Gita, 4:9. Janma karma chime divyam evam yo veti tatvataham taktva deham purna janma naiti mameti surjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Vadai Krishna Bastai Bhutale Shrimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakopa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare hare-rama Rama Rama Hare Hare. When was it Brahmananda Maharaj at the time asked Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, what is the most important verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada said this verse here. Janma karma chime divyam evam yo veti tatvata taktva deham purna janma naiti mameti sarjana. So the qualification for going back home, back to Godhead, is given in this verse. Krishna is divyam, he's transcendental. All his activities are of the same nature, they're transcendental. So when he comes to this material world, he doesn't touch the material world. He's still in this transcendental position above the effect of the three modes of material energy. He appears to take birth, but he doesn't take birth. Because he's unborn, he's aja, therefore he doesn't take birth. But he comes and he accepts a mother and father and appears to be like an ordinary person accepting birth. But this is all part of his activities as he plays the part of an ordinary human being in the material world. But one should know that behind this there is the transcendental nature of the Lord's energies working in such a way as to hide his real position. And one who can go beyond the understanding given by the explanations can understand that Krishna doesn't do anything. He simply comes and performs these activities. But at the same time, everything is carried out by his different energies. And he performs the activities, and his energies carry out all of the activities of his energies. So in the spiritual world, that is called Purnamasi. She is the internal energy of the Lord, which facilitates the Lord's pastimes in this material world and in the spiritual world. to make them appear like ordinary, but at the same time extraordinary, in the sense that some of his pastimes cannot be repeated or duplicated by anyone in the material world, or even in the spiritual world. So to know that, what does it mean to know that? We can talk about it, we can speak about it, we can hear about it, we can discuss it. But what does it mean to know about it? Because it says here, one who knows, Krishna says, that nature of mind that's transcendental in my appearance and the activities I perform, that person is actually qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. So we hear about it. Does that mean we know about it? Not exactly. That knowledge is not theoretical knowledge or book knowledge. It's realized knowledge. That knowledge which is of the principle of knowledge, or what we say, realized. Now, unrealized knowledge means, to use an example, if you were to go into a restaurant and you sit at the table and then the waiter comes and hands you the menu and you read it and you say, oh, that was a great meal. That's theoretical. You may even hear from the cook how he made it, what ingredients he put in and how long it took him. It's still theoretical. You have to taste it, and then you have to get the experience of the eating process. Once you do that, you understand, oh, it's like this. It tastes like this. I'm getting this particular energy. I'm getting some happiness, like that. So all of that is knowledge that is experienced, and it's not simply explained. So explained knowledge is there, but experienced knowledge is actually Krishna consciousness. To experience the knowledge that Krishna doesn't touch this material world, although he comes. And to understand that he appears to take birth, but he doesn't take birth. He's like the sun, which appears over the horizon. There was theories years ago that the sun is born every day in the morning and he dies every day at night. That was an actual theory that went on for many years by the so-called astrologers of this world. They thought the sun died and then was reborn. But actually, the sun is never born or dies. It stays in its orbit somewhere. So in the morning, we see it, and in the evening, it disappears. But it always exists somewhere. So in the same way, Krishna's activities are always going on somewhere. And he never, at the same time, comes in contact with the energy that he appears in. In other words, he doesn't touch the material energy, although it looks like it. Just like he's eating, he's crying, sometimes there's some mishap and Krishna gets hurt or something like that. But none of these things are actually part of the material energy. They're being orchestrated by his internal energy, Yoga Maya, who is making it seem like to us that he is acting and reacting like we are. But actually it's not happening like that. So one who knows clearly, just like we use the example of eating, one who experiences that knowledge, because knowledge, transcendental knowledge, is an experience. It's not simply reading books. Reading books opens up the idea of the knowledge. That's called gyan. Gyan means knowledge. But then there is vigyan, realized knowledge, or vishishta gyan, that knowledge that is what we call that knowledge intuitive knowledge. It becomes realized, understood, a part of you. When you know something deep within yourself, and it's no longer just some words on a page or some voice speaking some philosophy. So that's the level of this verse that is being explained here. So how do you get that knowledge? How do you come to that stage? And this is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. To hear and chant the glories of the Lord continuously in the association of devotees through that repetition of hearing and gradually understanding. That's why it bodhyantas parasparam katyantas chimam nichantusyanti cha ramanti cha. Hearing, trying to understand, and then discussing. When you discuss something, it brings the topic to life. And then from all different angles of vision, you explore that same topic and you bring in newer and newer understandings of that topic from different angles simply by the process of discussion. That's what this verse says, bodhyantas parasparam. By discussing in association of devotees this knowledge, it comes alive. And then you start to understand, oh yes, Krishna is like this. It becomes a feature of realization, no longer just theory. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness, to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, to discuss the glories of the Lord, to go deeper into this knowledge, because this knowledge, it's gyan, but it is also unlimited. Unlimited means it's not like material knowledge. Material knowledge, when something is being explained, it reaches the end of its explanation and there's no more you can say about it. Yeah, that's about it. You can't take it any farther because it is static. Static means it doesn't have, it's part of the three modes of material nature. And therefore, it has a limit, as the modes are limited also. But transcendental knowledge is unlimited. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took one verse from the Bhagavatam, from the first canto, I think 10th chapter of the first canto. It's called the Atma-rama verse. And he explained it 64 different ways, that same verse. Previously, the acharyas had given 11 or 12 different explanations. But Lord Chaitanya, being Krishna himself, gave 64 meanings to the same verse, taking each word, word by word, and giving the meaning of each word, and then combining all of the words together in the verse and giving more and more meanings. So this is an example of one of the verses, how unlimited it can be in the discussions of the verses. And Prabhupada says this is what we should do. We should hear and chant, and he said, try to see this knowledge from different angles of vision. There's many ways you can see the same thing. It's like a what we say, it's almost like a prism. When you look through light through a prism, the light keeps moving, and then the light keeps changing colors. So the light is one, it's white, but the prism makes the light blue, green, yellow, red, and various colors as the prism keeps moving through the color. So the color is one, but it can be reflected in different ways by the adding of that other element. So in the same way, transcendental knowledge is unlimited. Each verse, I mean, you see the acharyas, even acharyas will have different opinions about the same verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur will give a commentary, Jiva Goswami will give commentary, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati will give commentary, and they'll all have different additions to the same verse in the process of giving their commentary. And all of it's right, and Sridhar Swami also. So many personalities take this same knowledge and present it to us in different ways so we can understand it, not just in one way, but in so many different ways. That's why, in one sense, this knowledge is a little dangerous because if wrong people who are intelligent come in contact with this knowledge, they can reinterpret it in ways to fulfill their own selfish desires and make it sound like this is the meaning of what they are explaining. That's why they say this knowledge in the hands of the wrong people is dangerous. Like that. So that's why we have the spiritual master, because the sun-like spiritual master, as it says here, he gives the understanding which is the complete understanding where the devotees can make progress in devotional service by that explanation and not simply just a series. Because you see people in the scholarly world, they'll read the books, they'll read Chaitanya Charitamrita, they'll read Bhagavatam, they'll read the works of the Goswamis, and they give their interpretations. But all of their interpretations are actually just external. It's like licking the bottle of the honey without opening the jar and tasting the honey. So materialists can't touch this knowledge, although they try to give some explanations to it. But it has no, unless one is a devotee, and one is fixed in devotional service, in other words, the pure devotee, then they can explain this knowledge in different ways, like that. So, because the language itself is coming from the spiritual world. The Sanskrit language is not part of this world. It's descended from, in the heavenly planets, it says that the demigods, they speak Sanskrit. They don't speak Swahili or Slovenian or English, and whatever else is there. They communicate in that way. Because the Sanskrit language is the language of devotion. And Latin is also the language of devotion. It's a derivative of Sanskrit also. In some ways, yeah. Okay, so read these verses and discuss them and try to go deeper into this knowledge, and then gradually you'll start to understand more and more about Krishna. And when your knowledge reaches a certain point of understanding, becomes realized knowledge, intuitive knowledge, and the quality of that knowledge is that it elevates you back to the spiritual world. Any questions? Comments? Yes. Nitya Seva?
I was thinking about, actually I was reading about this also, that Sanskrit language is spoken in heavenly planet and also in the spiritual world.
Right.
So Srila Prabhupada said that one of Bengali language is also one of those languages, like which is very close to Sanskrit. So I was thinking that also Hindi is very close to Sanskrit.
Yeah. Hindi, yeah. And Hindi is derived from Sanskrit, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, many of the words are the same. Just like, I'll give you an example from this word for word we just went. There's one word here. It says, sakala, of all. And in Bengali, there's a word called sakale. And that means everyone.
Shakale.
Yeah, shakale. In Hindi, what is it?
Well, shakale is not actually in Hindi. Shakal is the face. And if you want to say all, sabhi.
That's Hindi.
Yeah, sabhi means.
But in Bengali, it's sakale.
Yeah, but if you just say shakal, in Hindi it means your face.
Yeah, many meanings, but there is accents on the word, on the letters that change the meaning. Just like if you say Pita. Pita means
Father.
or yellow. So if you say Pita, that's father. But if you say Pita, my Pita, you're saying my yellow.
Actually also peat is the back. Peat.
Pig.
Back.
Huh? Ayurvedic dosha, yeah, Pita. Well, that's double T. There's 2 T's in that. So yeah, and the accent on the word, just like that one Brahmin who wanted to create a demon to kill Indra, he chanted the mantras during the sacrifice, but when he chanted the exact words, but he put a wrong emphasis on one word. Instead of using a short A, he used a long A. And he got a demon to be killed by Indra, rather than getting a demon that was going to kill Indra. That's mentioned in the 6th canto, yeah. So just by a slight, that's why it says that the Brahmins in this age can't chant the mantras purely, because the age of Kali has reduced the quality of the Brahminical class. Like that. But when you do yagyas, Brahmins sit there and they read Shastra when yagyas go on. They're reading Shastras out loud, and that's going on along with the sacrificial mantras also. Jai. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki Jai. So yeah, we can see extraordinary, extensive meanings that can be derived from the same words or the same sentences like that. Just like if you say Stri means what?
Women.
What else does it mean? Means to expand. To expand, yeah. If you say Guna, what does that mean?
Qualities.
And what else does it mean? Rope. Guna means rope. Guna means qualities. Guna means modes. So yeah, so the words have many meanings. Depends on the accent of the syllables. Yeah, so that's why it says to study Sanskrit grammar takes 12 years to learn. If you actually want to learn it properly, it takes 12 years. And when we chant, we make a mess out of it. Instead of saying Gadadhar, we say Gadadhar or something like that. Instead of saying Guru, we say Guru. Prabhupada was one time, he said, I know you mean what you mean, but please don't call your spiritual master a cow. And you're saying Garu. It's Guru. Bande Guroshi, Charanada Vindam, Natende Garashi, whatever, you know. Hare Haraye Nama Krishna Yaravaya Nama Hare Hara. Hey Hara, you're saying all glories to Lord Shiva. That's nice too, but that's not the meaning of the bhajan. So yeah, that's why after 11, what was it now? After Prabhupada started the movement in 1965, 66 officially. But in 2011, the GBC, 2009, I'm sorry, the GBC decided these guys got to learn how to speak this language. So they commissioned Lokanath Swami Maharaj to write a book, how to pronounce Sanskrit. Saproshchista, I forgot the name of the book. And he takes many of the mantras that we use from day to day, and he explains how it's pronounced. Just like the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. hare-rama, hare-rama, Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare. So it's not Rama, it's Rama. You see the difference? Rama, Rama. So the sound is guttural. You pull in the A. Rama. You pull it in. Rama. Instead of Rama. So these are very, if you say Rama, you're saying the goddess of fortune. If you say Rama, Rama, then you're mentioning the actual pronunciation is correct. So yeah, it's nice to get it right after all these years in the movement. And if you chant the mantras right, the effects of that mantra will be greater than if you chant it wrong. Although Krishna is Bhava Grihi Janardana, that he accepts what you're saying in a devotional way, but the effects that you get from your chanting are enhanced by the quality of your sound vibration. And when you chant it properly, then you get much more effect from that mantra than you do if you don't, like that. Because each mantra has a meaning, and the meaning comes by way of the pronunciation. It says in the Shrutis that Krishna appears on the last syllable of his name. So when you say Krishna, you say Krish, he's not there yet. And when you say Krishna, then he's there. He comes. So this is all very technical, but it's interesting because, it's the actual real language. All languages are derived from, ultimately, Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Okay, anything else? Yeah.
I have one more question. I was thinking also about having consistency in reading, because I really like to read Prabhupada's books. But then there are times when I'm reading for hours, and but then there are times when I'm not reading so much as I would like to read. But then on those times I'm just hearing lectures and conversations of Prabhupada.
That's nice.
But it's always I'm doing something. It's not like I'm not, if I'm not...
Yeah, either hearing or reading, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to increase my reading more. But then I think I have this little chanchal nature that it's like sometimes I'm reading for hours, but then the next week it's not so much. I mean, I'm still reading, but it's not so much as much as I would like to do. So just how I can bring this consistency in my reading.
Well, they say if you do it by the time, by clocks, like that. So you pick a time period and you start and end according to that time period. And then you're bound by this desire to read a certain amount of time. So you say, all right, if I'm going to read for 2 hours, you read for 2 hours. But if you read till you feel like you want to stop, then you may read for 2 hours, you may read for less, or you may read for more. It's neither way is wrong, but if you're talking about consistency, then you got to put it in a time frame. Yeah.
I mean, the same is with my chanting, because sometimes I wake up really early. Sometimes I wake up at 3 in the morning or even 2:30. And then by the time you have Mangal Aarti, your rounds are almost done. And then you're here for the whole program, and few rounds are done, then you're done. Then I feel, very different. My consciousness is very different when I'm like this, chanting before Mangal Aarti also. And it's, but then there are times then this chain kind of breaks. It's like 1 week I will do, the next week, then it's just, I'm starting my rounds.
Well, you have to see, getting enough rest. You have to see what's causing you to change, like that. But what you say is also very fundamental, and devotees should make this also. Prabhupada said, every round of japa you chant before Mangal Aarti is worth 4 rounds after Mangalarti. The rounds before Mangalarti are much more spiritually potent. But don't take that in the sense that I'll chant 4 rounds before Mangalarti, therefore I got 16 rounds. No. That's not the idea. I'm a fanatic about chanting. I chant. I have to finish my rounds. I have to get up and chant. I can't do anything else. I'm just fixed on that, and it just keeps me connected, I think. I'd like to go to more than a morning program, but I just can't because I just want to chant. And once I don't chant when I get up and I do other things, then I find it so hard to chant later. If I just start with the chanting and stay with it, and then it's nice. And when I break it up, it's not as nice, or it becomes, I don't know, somehow to squeeze it in here and there, you know. But I wouldn't recommend everybody to miss Mangalarti just to do that. So the idea is to get up at 2, chant from 3 to 5, and you're done. Almost. The idea is we get up too late. That's our problem. Mangalarti is at 5, that's nice. Then that's what we say, doable. But we shouldn't think, I have to get up at 4:30. No, get up at 3:30, get up at 3. And chant. Use those pre-Mangalarti rounds, they're really nice. As soon as you finish taking care of your personal needs, and you just focus like that. And my first 2 rounds take me 10, 11 minutes each. They're real slow. But then the speed generally, most of the time does, it picks up because I very carefully chant during those times. And it's just so nice. So, you know, we can sacrifice a little sleep or go to bed a little bit earlier and get up a little earlier. The mode of goodness is prominent from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. The mode of passion is prominent from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The mode of ignorance is prominent from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. So it's best to at least complete your rounds within the realm of the mode of goodness. Is the best time for chanting. And then when the days come, then you have the activities, and you can just focus on your service. You can also chant while you're working. That's also nice. Okay, anything else? Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai.